We had a period at the end of the Cold War in 1991 when it seemed as if history was over. That was my friend Frank Fukuyama's take. And there was a period when the United States seemed entirely dominant. And all that needed to happen after that was globalization. And through free trade and free capital movements and free migration, the world would gradually be homogenized until it was all more or less American. And that was a widely expected future in the 1990s and in the 2000s. And even after 9/11, which was the first big shock to our expectations of a post-Cold War world, we still assumed that globalization would gradually bring the Chinese and everybody else into one world in which the terrorists would be a minor irritant, the crazy people who didn't get the benefits of the American way of life. That era ended with the financial crisis and the backlash against globalization that ultimately led not only to the election of Donald Trump, but also to Brexit on the other side of the Atlantic. We've then had an extraordinarily interesting interlude in which much that happened in 2016 has persisted, despite the political failures that ensued. Brexit has not been a triumph in Britain. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. And yet much that happened then, much of that backlash against globalization has persisted. And I didn't see that coming. I thought January the 6th was the end of Donald Trump's political career. Couldn't have been more wrong. So my sense is that we are moving towards another period in which the world redefines itself geopolitically and politically in new terms that are more reminiscent of Cold War than of globalization. My view is that we're in Cold War II. I think we've been in it at least since 2018. I think the other side is in some ways stronger than the Soviet Union ever was. I think we have still fully to process what a second Cold War implies for our way of life, and we don't fully understand what the downside risks of losing a Cold War look like.